Now let's get into talking about the Leatherman MUT. Actually, all right, take a look at the this tool. I think I'm going to move it out of the sight also. The Leatherman MUT goes for between $179 to $199. Now the Leatherman MUT, this is an epic multi-tool. I've had it for several years now. It's gone all over with me. It's one of those tools that you just always want to have with you. Let's talk about all the little features. I meant to say features. This saw, I mean, I'm not cutting down a tree with it, but I've cut lots of little branches with it. You can see it's scraped up and beat up a little bit, not a ton. I don't use the saw all that often. It's one of those tools that if it didn't have and had something better, I'd be fine with that. Here, let's go with the reason this is the MUT, because it has a carbon scraper, which, by the way, pretty sharp. I've never used it as a carbon scraper. I've just never needed to. But what I have used is this punch. It's called a firearms disassembly punch. I think it's made for pushing out pins inside of the... Not that I've ever used it for that, but if I did, I could tell you it works really well for its purpose. It is replaceable. So if you didn't use it for that, I'm sure if you went on to Etsy, you could find a replacement tool to go on here, either another punch or something else if you didn't ever use the punch that would fit on nicely. There's also this hole right here that is for putting a cleaning rod on. Now let's talk about the knife. When I got this Leatherman, I found this knife is ultra sharp. I really liked it. It stays super sharp. It's still hair cutting sharp. I don't love having serrated knives, but that's just a personal preference. This cutter I've used for cutting open plastic packages several times, but I think it's really there. It's a safety belt cutter also, or you know, a strap cutter, things like that. This hammer has been used a ton. It's also called a bolt override tool. Never used it for that. Luckily never needed to. Put more nails in than I can count. Just things need to get hit sometimes, and this is really good for that. Let's talk about the, here, we'll talk about the screwdriver that this comes with. A #1 Phillips and a, what is this, a 3/16 flathead. It fits right in here. You can see it goes right in there. Push this, it only goes in a fraction of an inch, but it makes it so you can fit this right in, and then it keeps it locked in. I really like this mechanism. It works really well. Next thing are these tools. Let's do this one first. I have to push this button over to get it out. So this is a 3/4 inch flathead and a #2 Phillips. It's long, so it fits in here, but I actually would have been happier having 2 more of these small ones to fit in the same amount of space in here, but that's all right. I've used these a ton. You can see the Phillips head has been worn. The paint on it's been worn down a bunch. I haven't used the flathead as much, but you can see I've used it a fair amount. But this Phillips #2, I mean, come on, it's #2. I use it all the time. Let me put this back together so I don't lose anything. Go to the opposite side here. You have to push the button through again. It's a T15 Torx and a 7/64 hex. It's come in useful. I'm sure there's a reason that they put these on here. Not really sure what that reason is. There's also a bottle opener I think I've used once or twice, and this carabiner has never once. I think one time I put it on a belt loop just to see it hang, and then it was so, you know, this thing's not light, so it was just pulling down my pants. So never really use it as a carabiner. I guess maybe you can attach it to a backpack or some kit or something like that, but maybe it's useful for something else. But there's also this closing mechanism, this hook on here. Never ever use it. It's something I'd actually like to take off just to save a little weight. But the things I've used the very most on here, and there's different screwdrivers, this hammer is super useful. Put in a ton of nails into walls, and these pliers. I had to fix some fencing these pliers just came in clutch, and they got used a ton, and you can see what kind of good condition they're in. The black has come off a little, it's been worn off, but the pliers are still in almost nearly perfect condition. I have just enjoyed this multi-tool for years and years and years, and what's cool is you can flick it open with one hand. I do like that. I've may or may not have sat through dozens of movies flicking this around and playing with it for hours at a time. It's a fidget toy, but really most of all, this has been an epic multi-tool to carry on trips and vacations, and just, you know, just put it through its paces for years. It has stood up the test of time. I've compared it to other multi-tools, other Leathermans in particular, and there is absolutely zero play. You shake it, nothing jiggles. Move it around here, there's zero play. I've never tightened this even once, and I've flicked it open and closed, not exaggerating at all, probably tens of thousands of times, and this thing is still just as tight as it was the day I took this out of its package. Like I said earlier, I think this was a gift from my uncle. It is a beautiful, beautiful gift. I feel honored to have gotten it. I wish he'd know how appreciative for this gift, but it is something that I will personally keep forever and pass on to grandson one of these days, hopefully. You can also see how well it was manufactured. You can see the light colored table coming through here. It's perfect. It's, after all these years of use, it's still perfect. I love this multi-tool. It's probably not the right thing for everybody. I don't even know if it's the right thing for me. It's not like I need tools for working on a gun, but it's the tool that I have, and it fits the purposes that I need it for. The knife cuts really well. The saw, when I had to cut a bush back, I didn't want to take out my full saw. I just ran in, grabbed my multi-tool, and sawed off a branch that was like this big around in a minute. I mean, this saw is super sharp. The one single tool I wish this had that it doesn't is a scissor. And I'll be honest, as much as I love this saw on here, up the saw to have a nice scissor on here, because I do use the scissors on my SOG PowerPoint a lot. And it's for little stuff, literally just cutting off threads on a shirt or a jacket or pants. So I think scissors are a necessity on multi-tools, and I think they should be on all of them. But anyways, I will tell you, I've loved this multi-tool from the day I got it. I will love it to the day I die, and I will carry it with me everywhere I go. I think it's a great tool. It's not perfect for everybody. It doesn't have all the little things, the can opener. It doesn't have all the stuff, but this tool has worked so well for me that it'll go with me everywhere. This is the single best multi-tool I've ever used. And I've had other Leathermans, I've played with them, I've held them, I've had a few, and none of them are of this high a quality. Granted, you're paying over $200 for a multi-tool. That's a lot of money for a tool that you're gonna beat up. But to me, this is a generational tool. This is something that I will pass on. So it's worth it. If you go out and get one, or you want to give one as a gift to a husband or a boyfriend or a father or a son. I mean, this is one of those tools. It's not a cheap $79 Leatherman that, you know, you beat up horribly and, you know, you might just replace it. Maybe you keep them forever, I don't know, but this is one that I will personally keep forever, just like other tools that I have. This will be passed down through the generations of the Brilliant family, I hope. So there you go. I definitely highly recommend the Leatherman MUT. And by the way, this is not the EOD version, just in case you were curious. This is just the regular Leatherman MUT. I can ramble on about this Leatherman tool for hours, but the Leatherman MUT will make any guy proud to carry it, happy to have it. So go get one, and go make someone very happy. Good luck. Have a great day. I did want to point out, T9 Torx is the right size to work on this Leatherman.